Tyler just told everyone that the boy is actually Ridge's son. The sun was setting over the Forrester house, shining through the windows and making everything look nice and golden. It did not feel nice and warm inside the house. Brooke was standing by the fireplace with her arms crossed, trying to calm down and breathe slowly. She could hear the sound of cars driving by on the road that goes through the canyon. Ridge had asked everyone to get, saying it was important. You know, that thing he says when something big is about to happen. Taylor was standing by the door. She was really stiff. Her fingers were locked together so hard they were turning white. Steffi was hanging around her, looking back and forth at her mom and dad. She could feel how tense it was even before anyone said a word. Thomas was leaning on the couch. His jaw was tight. RJ was sitting in a chair looking really confused. Ridge finally spoke up, clearing his throat. Before he could say anything, Taylor stepped forward. Her voice was shaking. She was determined. She said the words that would change everything they thought they knew about Ridge and Taylor and their lives. Taylor said, "Ridge, I have to tell you something." Brooke turned around fast. She could not believe what she was hearing. Ridge just stood there, his face turned white, like he already knew what Taylor was going to say. Ridge and Taylor were in for a surprise, and it was all because of what Taylor was about to tell them about Ridge. Taylor took a breath and looked at Ridge. She had tears in her eyes. "Something happened a time ago," Taylor said. "This was before everything went wrong between Taylor and Ridge. It was before they got married and divorced. Everything got really messy." Taylor said, "I thought I was doing the thing for everyone." Ridge shook his head, said Taylor's name really quietly. He was trying to get her to stop talking. Taylor kept talking. Her voice got louder and stronger as she talked. Taylor said, "I told myself I was doing the thing. Secrets like this do not stay hidden forever." Brooke's heart started to beat fast as she realized something was very wrong. "Taylor, what are you saying?" Brooke asked her. Taylor looked at Brooke. It was clear that she was hurting. "I am talking about a kid," Taylor said. "A boy, a son." The room felt like it was spinning around when Ridge heard this. Steffi was shocked. She put her hand over her mouth. "A son." Brooke and the others were stunned. They could not believe what Taylor was telling them about a child. A son. Thomas said this like he could not believe it. Taylor nodded her head slowly. She said, "Yes, Ridge has a son. Ridge has another son. This son of Ridge is alive." Ridge finally found his voice. It was really hoarse. Sounded strained. "Taylor, stop," he said. "You do not know what you are doing." Taylor looked at Ridge. Now tears were falling from her eyes. "I know what I am doing," she said. "I am telling the truth." Then Taylor turned back to the people. "A time ago when things were really bad for us, I got pregnant. Ridge did not know about the baby. I was really scared and alone, and I thought that if I told him it would hurt him more. So I made a decision that I have had to live with every day." Brooke felt her knees get weak. She had to hold on to the mantle to stand up. She said, "You are saying that Ridge has a child that he does not know about?" Taylor nodded her head. "Yes," she said. Steffi took a step forward. Her voice was shaking. She said, "Mom, where's Ridge's child?" Taylor swallowed hard. "Ridge's child grew up far away from Los Angeles. I made sure that Ridge's son was taken care of by people I really trusted. I kept an eye on things from away, and I was really scared that if Ridge ever found out about his son, it would mess everything up. Ridge's son was a secret that I had kept for a time." Ridge ran his hand through his hair. His face showed that he was really shocked and felt bad about what had happened. "My son," he said quietly. These words sounded strange to him, but they were true. Ridge's son was someone he never knew he had. Now he was trying to understand this new information. The silence that followed was really quiet. Brooke's eyes got all teary. It was not just because she felt betrayed, but also because she was sad about all the years that were wasted. "All this time," she said in a voice, "Ridge could have known his child." Taylor's voice started to shake. "I know. I really do not like myself for what I did." Thomas looked confused, trying to figure out what was going on. "How old is Ridge's child?" he asked. Taylor did not want to answer. "He is in his 20s, she said finally. RJ's eyes got really big. Taylor nodded again. "So the guy is around my age," I thought. Then Steffi got really mad. She was not just shocked anymore. "You did not tell us about this?" she asked. "You did not tell Dad?" Taylor walked towards her daughter. Tried to touch her. "I did this to protect you, to protect all of you," she said. Steffi moved away from her. You did this by not telling us the truth. Rich sat down on the sofa, put his face in his hands. I missed my son's life, he said in a quiet voice. Brooke looked at him. She saw the hurt on his face. It was real. Brooke felt bad too. The pain on his face was something else. It was like he was saying steps, first words, everything, and it all came back to her. Brooke was torn between how she felt and the pain she saw on his face. Taylor wiped away her tears, stood up straight like she was getting ready for something bad to happen. There is more, she said. Everyone looked up at her. He is here in Los Angeles, Taylor told them. Ridge's head jerked up quickly. What? He asked. Taylor nodded her head. He came to Los Angeles looking for answers and he is looking for you, she said. Thomas looked at Steffi, then back at Taylor. Do we know this person? He asked her. Taylor did not say anything for a moment. Then she said, yes, you have all met him, Taylor said about this person. Brooke's heart was beating fast. She said, who? In a quiet voice. Taylor looked at Ridge and her voice was so soft but it felt like she was yelling. She said, his name is Dylan. The room was filled with gasps. RJ jumped up from his seat. He said, Dylan. Steffi shook her head, she could not believe it. She said, that's impossible. Ridge felt like all the air was sucked out of him. He started remembering things about Dylan, like what his face looked like, the way he acted, and the weird feeling that he knew him. He did not know why. Memories of Dylan just came flooding back. Ridge thought about Dylan's face and his mannerisms. That strange feeling that he got when he thought about Dylan. Taylor said this to me in a voice. He is your son, Taylor said. He is your son. Ridge stood up slowly, his legs felt really shaky. He said no. Shook his head. He said it again, no, that cannot be true. Taylor took a step closer to him. She said, it is true, I had a test done on my DNA. I did not want to believe it, but the truth is very clear. Brooke started crying. Tears ran down her face as she looked at Ridge. She said quietly, all this time Dylan was in front of us. Ridge's voice started to crack. Taylor's shoulders fell down. She said, you should have told me when he showed up in our lives. Taylor was really scared. She was scared of losing Taylor's family, of losing the kids, of messing up the bit of peace they had. Steffi put her arms across her chest, trying to make sense of everything. She said softly, so Dylan is my brother. Thomas nodded his head slowly. He said, Dylan is my brother too. RJ looked like he could not believe it. He said, and I had no idea about this. At that moment, footsteps echoed from the hallway. Dylan appeared in the doorway, having overheard everything that was said. His face looked really pale. His eyes were shiny with emotion. So it is true, he said in a voice. Everyone turned to look at Dylan. Ridge stared at Dylan, his heart beating fast as he looked at the young man standing in front of him. Dylan was not just someone he knew, but his own son. Dylan, Ridge whispered. Dylan took a step forward. His voice was shaking. I always felt like something was missing, Ridge said. He felt like he did not know where he belonged. Now he knows why. Ridge's eyes got all teary as he reached out to Dylan. He stopped just inches away. He was afraid to get too close to the man who was his father. I did not know, Ridge. His voice started to shake. If I had known, he started to say. Dylan cut him off. Dylan shook his head. Told Ridge that he believed him. It does not change the fact that we lost a lot of time with the things we did. The time we lost is still. That is what hurts. We cannot get back the time we lost with the things we did. The fact that we lost much time is still the same. Taylor watched them. She felt really bad. I never meant for you to get hurt, she said to Dylan. She wanted Dylan to know that. I thought I was giving you a life, she told Dylan. Dylan looked at Taylor and Taylor could see that he was hurting. He also understood what Taylor was saying. You made the decision you could at the time, Dylan said to Taylor in a soft voice. Then Brooke stepped forward. Brooke was wiping away her tears. Dylan, Brooke said to Dylan in a way, you are family to us. Steffi. Steffi's voice was shaking with emotion because Steffi was feeling a lot of feelings. Dylan said, you are our family. He was able to smile a bit, but it was a shaky smile. That is all I ever wanted, Dylan said. Ridge finally went to Dylan. Gave him a big hug, holding him tight like he was scared Dylan would go away. I am really sorry, Ridge said quietly. For all the things I was not there for. Dylan hugged him back. Cried with tears falling down his face. We cannot make the past different, Dylan said. Maybe we can start fresh now. The room was filled with people crying as they all thought about what they had just found out. Ridge and Dylan just stood there holding each other, and the people around them were all feeling the weight of what had happened. The Forrester family had been torn apart by secrets before, but this one would change them forever. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, one truth remained undeniable. Nothing would ever be the same again on the Bold and the Beautiful. The hug between Ridge and Dylan lasted a time. It was like all the years they were apart and all the things they never said were hanging in the air. When they finally stopped hugging, Ridge put his hands on Dylan's face. He looked at everything about Dylan like he was trying to remember what he had missed for so long. Ridge said, "You look like me," in a voice. He was smiling a little. He was also crying. "Your eyes are like mine. The way you stand is like me too. I should have known you were my family." Dylan breathed out slowly. He was still shaking. "People have said that before," he said. "I just never got why it felt so personal to me." Taylor looked away for a second, putting her hand over her mouth, because the decision she made was really getting to her. She thought about this moment a lot. She was scared of it. She practiced what she would do. Nothing could have gotten her ready for how it really felt to see her father and son together for the first time. Taylor had imagined her father and son together 1,000 times. It was different now that it was real. Brooke cleared her throat because she was trying to calm down. She said to everyone, "We should all sit down," and she pointed to the sofas. She said, "This is a lot to take in." So everyone sat down. Nobody was really calm. Steffi sat next to Thomas. She held his hand. RJ stood near Dylan. You could see that he was curious and also felt bad for him at the same time. Ridge leaned forward, put his elbows on his knees. He kept looking at Dylan. Never looked away. Ridge said to Dylan, "Tell me about your life," in a voice. He also said, "Please." Dylan stopped for a moment, then he nodded his head. "I moved around a lot when I was a kid," he said. Taylor made sure he had things in his life, like good schools and a stable home. He always felt like something was not right. He would see families together and wonder why his family did not feel like a complete family. Taylor looked at Dylan. She spoke quietly. "I was watching you from a distance," she said. "I saw every one of your report cards. I saw every moment in your life. I was there even though you did not know I was there," Taylor said. Dylan. You could see the emotions changing on his face. "I felt you," he said in a way. Thomas leaned forward. "So what made you come to Los Angeles?" he asked. Dylan let out a breath. "I had a lot of questions. Many things did not make sense to me. I found out some things about my past that did not add up. I kept hearing the name Forrester over." Rich Forrester swallowed hard. "When you met me," Dylan looked right at him. "I felt something," he said. "It was like a pull. I thought I just really looked up to you. It turns out we are related by blood." Steffi shook her head slowly. "This is unbelievable," she said slowly. Brooke looked at Ridge. Her eyes got all teary again. "You were here the whole time," she said. "We have been through a lot," Brooke thought. "Ridge and Brooke have been through a lot." "We have been through much," Brooke said in a quiet voice. This thing with Ridge, it changes everything for Brooke. The front door opened fast and it startled everyone. Eric Forrester walked in. His eyebrows came together because he could feel that something was wrong. "What is going on?" he asked. Ridge stood up. His voice was full of feeling. "Dad," he said, "I just found out that I have another son." Eric Forrester stopped moving. "What?" Taylor looked at Eric Forrester and her eyes showed that she was feeling bad and also feeling relieved at the time. "Eric Forrester," she said. "It is true. Dylan is the son of Ridge." Eric looked at Dylan. Then he looked back at Ridge. His face changed from being shocked to being really amazed. "My grandson," Eric said in a quiet voice. He walked up to Dylan, put his hand on Dylan's shoulder. "Welcome to our family," he said in a nice way. Dylan smiled a bit. "Thank you," he said. "The family of Ridge is happy to have you," Dylan said, meaning that it meant a lot to him, the family of Ridge. As the evening went on, people started to feel things more. Steffi got angry with Taylor because of the things she did. Thomas felt like he did not belong. Then they started to understand each other. Steffi said to her mom, "Mom, I am hurt." She had tears in her eyes. "I see that you were in a lot of pain too." Taylor wanted to hug her daughter. "I did not want to hurt you," she said. "I just did not know what to do to make things okay." Steffi and Taylor were talking about their problems. Taylor really did not know how to fix things with Steffi. Ridge listened to them. He felt bad about what happened. "This is not just Taylor's fault," he said. "It is my fault too. I was not there for them. I will never get that time back." Ridge wishes he could go back in time. Dylan shook his head. "You did not decide to be," he said. "You can decide what you do now." Ridge has to think about what he does. Later, when the house was really quiet, Ridge and Dylan went out onto the terrace. The lights of the city were shining down below, which was really different from what was happening between them. "I do not expect anything," Dylan said, leaning on the railing. "I am not here to take the place of anyone." Ridge turned to Dylan. "You do not take the place of anyone," he said. "You add something to my life." He stopped for a moment. "If you are willing to do that, I would like to get to know Dylan." Ridge thought that getting to know Dylan would be a thing. Dylan smiled at me. I could see hope in his eyes. "I would like that," he said to me. Dylan was happy about this. Inside the kitchen, Brooke and Taylor were standing together. They were not really friends at this point. They were trying to get along. Brooke said, "This is really hard for me." She was being truthful. Brooke also said Dylan did not want any of this to happen. Taylor nodded her head in agreement. Taylor said Ridge did not want this either. Then Taylor said, "I am ready for what happens." Brooke let out a breath. Brooke said, "We are all ready for what happens." Upstairs, Steffi was sitting with Thomas. Steffi had her head on Thomas' shoulder. "Our family just got bigger," she said in a voice. Thomas nodded his head. "Now our family is more complicated." Steffi gave a sad smile. "Our family is of used to complicated things. The family is really good at that. Our family is just like that." The morning everyone at Forrester Creations found out about the big news. People were talking quietly in the hallways when Ridge showed up with Dylan. Ridge said to the people who worked there, "This is my son." The people who worked at Forrester Creations were really surprised. Some of them clapped and some of them did not believe it. Katie gave Dylan a hug. "Welcome to the family," she said. "You are part of Forrester Creations now." Hope smiled at Dylan. Said, "Our family meetings can be really crazy," and she said it in a soft voice. Dylan laughed for the time since he found out that Ridge was his father at Forrester Creations. He said that he is starting to notice. Not everyone was happy about what was happening. Across town, Sheila Carter was watching the news. She did not look pleased. She had a look in her eyes. "A secret son," she said to herself. This was a deal. Sheila Carter did not smile like she was happy. She just smiled a little. It was not a warm smile. Back at the mansion, Ridge was by himself in his study. He was looking at a picture of his family. Ridge missed one person in the picture. Dylan should have been in it. "No more secrets," Ridge said to himself. He was talking quietly. Down the hall, "Dylan, listen." He heard what Ridge said. Dylan smiled. This was the time in his life when he felt like he really fit in and was part of something. He felt like he was where he was supposed to be. The feeling was new for him. He felt like he truly belonged. As the sun rose over Los Angeles, casting new light on old wounds, the Forrester family braced themselves for what lay ahead. Love, betrayal, forgiveness. These were the threads that wove their lives together. And now, with the truth finally revealed, a new chapter began on The Bold and the Beautiful, one that would test the strength of family and the power of second chances like never before.